name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. I've come home early from Durrell Gardens from my mum. Right, I haven't got a white top on, I haven't got a white vest. I've stayed in this top since I got in the taxi just after 12 o'clock this afternoon. Right, I'm sad and sorry to report that I will not be seeing my mother, Jennifer, anymore. I am tired of it. My mum keeps going on that she is Jennifer, she is Jenny, I'm Genestra. Okay? So when I'm going to tell you what happened, okay? It used to happen at Victoria Road as well. Okay, when I used to live at Victoria Road, I used to have minor arguments with my mum. Right. So my mum rings me up. As you know, the phone hurts my face, loud noises. I was feeling hot and sweaty from the sun and from yesterday. I was very tired. I was woken up at 7 AM. Right. So my mum says to me, the taxi is going to be in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. So along comes the taxi. It's the driver that took my mum, Jennifer, to her jab at Lawswood. Okay. Got in the taxi, the windows were open, it's boiling hot. The driver was very nice and polite to me. I've got no complaints about any of the taxi drivers. None at all. So my mum had told me that she was going to give me, Genestra, £20 to give to the taxi driver. She told me she wasn't going to come out of the flat. She wasn't going to come out of her flat at Durrell Gardens. She was going to let me pay the taxi driver. So as the taxi driver got to Durrell Gardens where my mum Jennifer lives, my mum was hovering about near my father Derek's car, all hunched over and bent over because she's an old lady. She had a white sleeveless top on with breasts exposed, and her arms were all wrinkled because Jennifer is 76. So my mum's got all wrinkled arms, and she's not suntanned. Jennifer's not brown, she's pure white, like a white carp. My mother Jennifer does not sit in her garden and sunbathe, so she's white. She's 76, so she's a bit flabby round the arms. We all are. Right? So she starts talking to the taxi driver. The taxi driver is unable to talk to me because Jennifer has now gone to the front of the car. Hello, Genestra, and then she talks to the taxi driver. Distracts the taxi driver away from me, so I'm ignored. I get out of the taxi, I carry the bags, I have some washing, I shut the door, and my mother's yapping and all bubbly with the taxi driver. So I go in, she's got water on the table, she's got a bottle of mineral water on the table. So I'm going to show you what my mum gave me. I took this bag up with me. So she's got some chewing gum on the table, because when you get a dry mouth you need chewing gum. Just like she used to do to my dad. Bottle of Lucozade, my father Derek, a packet of cheese and onion crisps, and some sweets. Now I've got bad teeth. It's hard-boiled sweets, they're really hard, so my mum's given me about 5 hard-boiled sweets. I didn't have any lunch round there, I've had no dinner, so my mum gives me, so what I'm trying to say to you, what has happened was all planned before I even got there. It's all planned, like the many times that there was things going on at Victoria Road, the police came out and they didn't do anything. All planned. So my mum gives me the £10 note and she gives me a mouldy old £1 coin. Now I've still got the £1 coin because the taxi home came to £9.80, I believe. The taxi home came home to £1.80. Now everybody knows that I have done a YouTube video where I'm down to my last pound coin, me, Genestra. So that's all I've got. This is all I've got is a £1 coin because the fare came to £9.80 and I let the driver keep the 20 pence. My mum gave me £11. And then she was enjoying an argument with me, her daughter. She was enjoying to have an argument with me. She was laughing and talking about my son Andrew, who she's never seen, bringing my children into a conversation that was nothing about my children. When my son Andrew was in hospital with cancer, my dad was sexually abusing me. He was touching me and abusing me, and I wasn't allowed to see my son Andrew, right? So when my mum starts bringing my children into the equation, I must have done something to stop her grandchildren from visiting her. Do you know why my children don't want to visit their grandma? Do you want to know why? Well, one of my sons was rudely treated by my father, who said something about him. I have told one of my sons what my dad had been doing to me, and they chose not to see my mum. That's their choice. I can't say to my kids, you can't see your grandma. That's their choice. I can't tell someone not to see somebody. If someone says to me, you can't see so-and-so, that doesn't stop me seeing them. Right? So we had an argument. And I don't like arguments. And instead of my mum sitting quiet and just letting it blow over, she went, you're not Jennifer, are you? Have I ever said that I'm Jennifer? Have I ever pretended that I'm my mother Jennifer? And why would I want to pretend I was an old lady of 76? For fuck's sake. So, my mum would not stop. She kept going on and on. She kept provoking me. She kept bringing my children into the equation. And basically, I got out of the flat. After I'd used Jennifer's telephone, Jennifer's landline telephone, to ring 363636 Star Taxis, who said they were going to be at Durrell Gardens in 5 minutes. And I waited round the corner by the post box, and what was on the floor? A mouldy old 2p. A mouldy 2p. So it was all planned and it was all staged. All of it. And do you know what I've done? I don't ever want to speak to my mother again. And it's me, Genestra, talking about Jennifer. It's not my son talking about me. That was on the floor by the post box. Right? A mouldy old 2p. I never ever want to speak to my mother again. I do not condone abuse or cruelty. I have thrown my phone out. I have broken it, not in a nasty manner. I don't want my mother ringing me up 3 times a day. If she continues to harass and keep calling me, right, as we know, when I called 999 the other day, the police didn't come out or do anything to help me, Genestra, when I was put in the middle of the road. It wasn't Jennifer that was put in the middle of the road, it was Genestra, Crystal. Right? day, making my nerves go on edge, saying, "You're Genestra, you're not Jennifer." It fucks with my head and makes me feel ill. I don't want to speak to her again. I have never condoned abuse. When my dad was doing those things to me, she knew he was doing it, and I actually asked her questions, and she lied to my face. Lied to me. She said my father didn't have high blood pressure. He did. He was always having his blood pressure taken. He had a bloody heart attack. Lying is not going to get you off charges, I'm afraid. Telling lies. I don't want her talking to me again. And you know what? I might only have a £1 coin, right? But I'm not being abused